Here's a question. Should voice actors play characters based on their ethnicity? The short answer should be yes, but this wouldn't be much of a video. So, my dream job is to be a voiceover actor. Charles, please. This dinner is important to me, and I want to make a good impression for the CEO of the company. Can you pretend to have some class and not wear your lucky tie tonight? Hey, you dropped this. No problem. It's a great book. Where are you headed to? Funny. I was going there. My name's Rebecca. Ugh. Not bad, Lucas. I guess I've underestimated you. How about best 2 out of 3? Alright. I have a long way to go and have 1 credit to my name in doing voiceover. The Junebug's Ballad. I played Guard 1. It was a fun role I like looking back on, and technically a start for me. What I love about voiceover is that there's no cameras. It's just you, the script, the microphone, along with the sound engineer and director. I really love the art of performing. So when I was around people that majored in theater and meeting voiceover actors at conventions, it inspired me to be a part of this field. So when I see articles and comments about the controversy, it made me think, and I've been thinking for a while. During the summer, some white voiceover actors stepped down from their roles and expressed how they regret taking on a role and playing a person of color. I'll get to that in a sec, but here's my stance on it. It depends on the story and or a character's arc/focus. So here's some examples. One of the characters involved in this subject is Missy from Big Mouth. I can't say anything about her because I don't watch the show. In fact, I fucking hate Big Mouth. I also can't do the same for Molly from Central Park. I don't know if their race plays a factor in their character's focus. I'm assuming no. Miles Morales. I feel it's important to have a black actor voicing a black character since we don't have a lot of black superheroes. I appreciate the fact that Spider-Verse respected Miles as a black character and allowing him to have his own story. Samurai Jack. I can't speak for everyone, but this is something I wouldn't sweat over. Mainly because the show is about Jack getting back to the past. We all know Jack is Asian, but the show never made his race a main focus. Diane Nguyen is a notable example when it comes to race and voiceover. Diane, a Vietnamese woman, is voiced by Alison Brie, a white woman. Raphael Bob Wakesberg has stated numerous times how he messed up when casting Diane. Since he couldn't take it back, he decided to make things better and had Vivi Nguyen as a consultant to join in the episode All Dog Days Are Over. This is where an actress who is Vietnamese would have been great in playing Diane, because a white person can't relate or understand the struggles of being Vietnamese American. Then this raises more claims than concerns. White characters need to be played by white people, and characters that are people of color need to be played by people of color. Oh boy, it isn't that simple though. We're getting better with representation and animation, but separating voice actors to play roles based on their race won't make a difference. That limits an actor to stay in their lane in auditions. Actors like Phil Lamar, Danny Chambers, Cree Summer, Kevin Michael Richardson, Keith David, Kimberly Brooks, and others are not limited to just play black characters. They are able to play different characters because they're the right match for the character's voice and description. Some characters who are people of color are often the side characters. Even worse, stereotypical characters. I don't know what's more uncomfortable. Having the person of color be the stereotype, or having a white person impersonating the stereotype. Because in the case of Apu, he's an Indian stereotype played by Heike Azaris, a white man. Specifically, Apu falls in the dual societal economical profiling stereotype. I remember this was a divided conversation, as some people called it offensive, but some people didn't care about it that much. Again, I can't speak on it since I'm not Indian. However, I think it should be knowledgeable that you know the difference between reality and fiction. If you're one of those people who say, "Can you do a good Apu impression?" Stop it. A community of people is not represented solely based on one character. I look back on those actors who stepped down. Did they do this with their own intentions? Or were they doing this because of the racial tendencies rising in America? Imagine if George didn't die. Would they still continue in voicing their characters? They didn't realize it was a problem until the death of someone had occurred. If these characters' ethnicities played a significant part to their story, then yes, having a person of color voicing them would make sense. If it wasn't, then why bother making a statement? The pressure of racial tendencies in America got into these people's head, and they no longer wanted their white guilt to hover over them. The bar is microscopically low when all I fucking want is for people to be held accountable for their racist actions and realize that systemic racism is real. But no, white actors voicing black characters and removing episodes that contain blackface, yeah, that'll end racism. I'm tired. I'm tired for being seen for my skin color and not my personality. I've been called an Oreo and been told that I'm acting white because I don't act like most black girls. No, I don't know how to twerk. No, do not touch my hair. And no, I have not seen or listened to insert any song, show, or movie that you assume every black person has seen. The game of testing how black I am is not funny. Being told I'm not black enough sent me to dark places that no one should ever go through. It's one thing to hear that from strangers, but if it was some director or producer? Hi, I'm Olivia Daniels, 21 years old from Los Angeles, California, and I'm auditioning for main character for an animated project. I know things haven't been quite right with me, but I can assure you, very confidently, that it's going to be alright again. I feel much better now. I really do. Stop! Miss Daniels, could you do that again? You're giving me sweet when I want you to be more urban. Of course, she knew that this was her playing the black part. It shouldn't be hard to hire actors to fit your characters if their background is required for their story. Legit, it shouldn't take groups of people to make you open your eyes to your privilege. Same for the death of a black man. Actors, especially those who already have millions. You know you can say no and make a suggestion, right? I don't want to take on any roles that are extremely racist and degrades black women. I don't want any minority to have to face that, get thrown into roles all to just do an accent. Why is it so hard for people to listen? If they fit the voice for your character, hire them. Added bonus if they have the same ethnicity that match the character they're auditioning for. So that ends this video. Voiceover should be a fun experience for actors, and not a place for them to be judged based on their skills and skin color. I really need people to understand that this shouldn't be the main threat to focus on. Wanting white actors to drop from their roles when they play people of color is not as important as the constant harassment and assault black people face on a daily basis. Leave a comment if you have a thought on this topic. I would like to know what you think and share about it. Thank you for watching my video. This is Olivia, signing off.